It's gonna be me trying this. I think it says Philly cheesesteak potato, baked potato thing. It's from this company. I'm gonna insert their stuff. And I'm drinking the mics, whatever. But so I'm gonna be doing that, telling you guys how that tastes, where to get it, and all that, if I like it. And I'm also going to be telling you about what the video title is. Why do I have a hole in my stomach? I got that question a lot over the years of my life and stuff. So we're gonna get right into it. Okay, so we're starting out with the potato. I just warmed it up, but we door dashed it, so it looks a little messy. But it also already looked like this when they brought it here. I don't know. I'm sure it looks more pleasing inside the actual restaurant place. But like I said, it's Philly cheesesteak, baked potato. So yeah. They might have put too much cheese, but it's not bad. It just tastes like a regular Philly cheese. I'm gonna finish that later though, because I'm not as hungry, but we're gonna get into the video. So, the reason that I have this hole, not that hole, obviously, this hole in my stomach, it's like I have two belly buttons, is because, okay, I was 16 and I just had moved back to Charleston to go to Fort Dorchester High. And I remember waking up one day and we were living with our cousins because like I said, we just had moved from North Carolina. We were living with our cousins and I just woke up with the worst feeling in my stomach. I was like, okay, I've been past of age. So I'm like, that's my period, whatever. So I'm in school or whatever. I had to go to the nurse because they was like, what is wrong? I thought it was my period or whatever. So then my cousin, who I used to call uncle or whatever, because he's older, so sometimes I call him uncle, sometimes I just call him by his name. But him and his wife came to pick me up, and he's protective, so he was like, you better not be pregnant. I was like, no, I'm not even active or whatever. And I was like, I just thought it was maybe cramps or something was wrong. So I went home, well, their house or whatever. And I could not sleep, tossed and turned all night in the guest room and everything. And I woke up like it felt like someone was twisting something or punching me in the stomach. And I tried to tell my mom, and she was like, maybe you're just cramping. I always kind of had issues with, I don't know, with my digestive system or something. Well, we didn't really pay attention. We just thought that's maybe I'm lactose tolerant. We didn't know what was wrong. So the very next day, I woke up to my stomach looking like I was 9 months pregnant. It was so weird. It was out of nowhere. We were all shocked whenever later on in the story when everyone finally seen my stomach. So my cousin was in the room and I'm walking bent like this. I'm coming out the guest room, right? And I'm like walking like this, looking crazy. And my stomach was like, I'm not kidding. And I was way smaller than this, of course, because I had kids, so I was even smaller. So I'm like about this big, and my stomach was like, so I'm bent over. He like, yo, you good? What's wrong with you? He's like, why your stomach look like that? And I'm just like, I don't know, but I feel terrible, and I can't do anything. I can't sit right. I can't really pee. I'm not, letting anything out the backside, all of that. So he called my mom for me or whatever, and she get home and my mom's so dramatic. She's like any mom does. She's freaking out. She's like, we gotta get you to the hospital. So they called the ambulance, and I believe that's how I got there. They called the ambulance, and I believe I got in the ambulance, and they drove me to the hospital. And I think my mom drove behind. First of all, them ambulance people be driving crazy. It felt like they was hitting every freaking pothole in the doggone road or something. I was like, what in the world? hold on. Oh no, actually that's how I got there. My mom came, she took me to the urgent care or whatever that was near the house or whatever, and they checked it out, and then they put me in there. That's how I got there. My bad. So I get there, like I said, driving crazy. Like, we gonna get there, baby, but we don't need to die. And but they got me there. Thank goodness. So apparently if I didn't, later on found out if it would have burst, I probably would have passed away. That's what I was told by the doctor later on. So we get there in the doctor waiting room. Good Lord. I swear to God, the waiting room is always long for no reason. I think they be checking to make sure people insurance going through or something. So we was in there. We finally get called. We sit in there and the doctor's like, whoa. He was like, is there any chance you might be pregnant? Me and my mom looked at him like he was fool. Like, boy, no. What's wrong with you? Anyways, but you know, so he pushed on my stomach. It was very tender, of course, and it hurt so bad. So then it was time for them to check me out again. And when he went, he said, I'll be back, take a few, whatever he had to do. And he went and he came back and he asked about symptoms. And then he said, it looks like your intestines may be blocked. And I'm like, what? 16, don't know what he talking about. I'm confused or whatever. And he was like, okay, you're gonna need a surgery or whatever. So he's like, we're gonna do it soon or whatever. So they prepped me for it and everything. Mind you, I'm like, bruh, this is me. Am I gonna be in a hospital or whatever for a little while? So apparently, yes, not even a little while. And so I was in the hospital for a few weeks. Luckily, when I first got picked up from school, it was like the last day of school or something like that. And so it was summertime. So it didn't matter too much, but it mattered to me because it was summer. And so they did the surgery and they knocked me out. He counted down and everything, and then they did the surgery or whatever. That was the best sleep I think I ever had in a while. The guy, when they went in, I woke up, I had this hole. But it was a tube in there and it was twisted. It was like a little button. It was like, you ever had them toys and on the back of the toys you gotta twist the thing to pull everything out so the toy can detach from the box. It was like that. It was so weird. So I was just sitting there and he came to talk to me. He was like, you're all good. And he was like, good thing you came to us when you can, because it would have burst and you could have died. And he was telling me, he was like, remix. You know what? Forget it. But he came and told me, he said, percentage-wise, that really only happened in young men, teenagers. So in my head, all I heard was, she's a man. I'm not a man. I'm not a man. What you mean? I'm like, what? But it can happen to women too, but it mostly happens in men. So there's that. So then I had to spend a few weeks in a hospital, and it was very, I don't know what it is about hospitals. They make you feel sad. So we're walking around, we're going into the room. My mom came back after she freaking out because of what the guy said, what the doctor said. And it was like, we took like 3 liters worth of fluid out of you. I'm like, what? And it made sense because, like I said, my stomach was like boom, boom. I was like, girl, what? And so after everything calmed down, a few family members visit and everything, and we went to the room, some room where patients go to relax and stuff. And I just started crying because in my head, I'm like, this is not like, I don't want to live like that. Like, I don't want this in my stomach. I'm 16. I'm just moving here. I don't really know that much people. And I'm like, mind you, when I first moved here, it was like November. So from November to like June, I got to know a few people and made a few friends. My cousin and his friend came to visit. It was hard. I couldn't eat solids for a long time. I had to be on this formula that helps gain weight and stuff like that. And I got really big. Like, I gained like, 40 something pounds. And it was all in the places that wasn't great. Yeah, I had some back there, but it was all like here, my arms and stuff. Like, what are the odds? So I think it was almost 3 to 6 months or whatever, I had to sleep with that thing in my stomach connected to a machine. And it was this milk that helped you gain weight or whatever. And it would pump through the cord and go into my stomach, and I had to be on it for 12 hours. So we would do it at night so I can sleep. I toss and turn in my sleep regardless. So middle of the night it will pull out, so we would have to clean up the milk and put a new one in and everything. It was really hard for me, and I couldn't go much places because I had to have that on me, and it was hard to hide. If I wore certain things, of course I was covered. People would be like, "What's that?" And it was hard to explain to people. People would be like, "Ew," and stuff like, "Oh, girl," and stuff like that. I couldn't eat solid food for a while, and I love food, so that sucked. But yeah, I eventually got off the tube, and before I got off, they had to reattach another one. They tried to do it without giving me anything. When I say it felt like they were trying to stick a hot dog in a keyhole, if you get my drift, it hurt so bad. They kept putting the biggest tube in there, and that wasn't even the right size, so it was just scraping up against my skin. It felt terrible. They finally decided to go back to the smaller size, gave me, I think it was a few more weeks. They finally took it out, but they said this hole will be in my stomach, and when I have kids, it will irritate a little bit when my stomach extend each pregnancy, which makes sense because it felt like a pinch on top of being pregnant. But yes, you didn't stick your finger in it, but it ain't inside my body. Like, you can't stick your finger and turn inside my body, but it's deep, but it's not that deep. But yes, that's why it looks as if I have 2 belly buttons. But I'm fine. I mean, it's going to be there. That's the story. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me, connect with me. Bye, guys.